Hello, everybody. I would like to take the opportunity to go over week two's assignment and make sure that we're all on the same page. There was some people struggling with this, and I want to clear this up so that moving forward for your week three assignment, we make sure that you get it right. So first and foremost, the main thing that you need to do if you have not done so is take a look at all of the course information documents. So this is our welcome. This gives you a quick look at everything. But the really important thing that you need to know right here is there's a textbook link. You have to read the textbook in order to get the answers correct. That's important. The textbook, again, might be in the chapter, or you might have to link back out to this. Then there's a discussion board rubric and discussion board guidelines. What's really important that I want to emphasize is that you must make your first post, your initial post, 48 hours after the chapter opens. Your chapters always open on a Monday, so your post must be made by the following Wednesday, and they have to be 3 to 5 sentences long. You are then required to reply to a classmate, and those responses need to also be 3 to 5 sentences long. You can't earn credit for just saying, yes, I agree with you, that's a great idea. It needs to be more information. You need to grow and act as though that's a conversation, not just an affirmation or an agreement with somebody. So if you've gotten 3 points or a 2 points, then you've probably only submitted one assignment and that one post, and that one post was not submitted in the time frame that is necessary, or was not 3 to 5 sentences. So you want to check that out. When you are looking at any assignment, whether it's a discussion board or an assignment that you're submitting, if you want to try to understand your grade, you have to go to Gradebook. You can go and click on your Gradebook, come right here through Tools. You will see a whole lot of options, and then you can go to My Grades. And My Grades, it will give you all of this information here. And so as that, I can come and literally, you will see where I can check out my score and open up to see what the actual statements were and what I said about the grades. So that's how you would check your grades to make sure that you're learning from any mistakes that you might make. So now I've clicked into learning materials. Each week there is a new folder. This week our folder was understanding the components of fitness. So in our textbook, there were several pieces of information, and there are several components that are important to understand. And so this right here, these are the objectives. This is the objectives of the chapter. You need to read the chapter, do the homework, complete the discussion board, and then go back and make sure that you can answer these questions. This is not the assignment, okay? So then you can come over here. I made a video for each weekly chapter, and I'm hoping that you watch it. It's just a quick preview of what's going on. So when you get to each assignment, you will see that there is a week's assignment. So we open this up, and the week's assignment is going to tell you exactly what you should do. So for this week, you're going to read chapter 2. Please don't send me an email or a letter that says, yes, I read chapter 2. Yes, I watched the videos. I'm hoping that you do that. I don't need that. But then if there's an explanation or something along these lines, then that's what you would do. Okay? So first and foremost, it says, explain the difference between exercise and active daily living. So this is a very involved question, even though it seems simple. The first and foremost thing is that don't just cut and paste over this and type in a one-liner for this answer. You would type in your answer on a Word document and you would say, exercise is defined as planned, purposeful movements to meet the principles of exercise prescription. It may include cardiorespiratory endurance, muscular strength, muscular endurance, flexibility, or that combination to adjust for body composition. Whereas active daily living is the fact that the CDC and the National Institutes for Health believe that every person should walk at least 10,000 steps a day. That doesn't include exercise. You don't include any type of daily activity does not include any of your planned exercise activities. Exercise is one part, and then we shouldn't just and cannot just do our exercise that's recommended and then sit around. Active daily living is cleaning your house, walking your dog, moving up and down the steps, lifting, carrying, whatever it is that you need to do, cutting your grass, maybe riding your bike around the neighborhood, playing with your children, your siblings, going out and playing some pickup basketball or rollerblading. Whatever activity you do, that's active daily living. That is very important. We find that 90% of Americans do not meet that active daily living goal. That is not for fitness. That is just your body's need to move. And so that's a totally different thing. And that's the answer to that question. So for many of you who I said, make sure you watch this, I just want you to understand that that's the answer. And then it says, list and explain the components of a fitness program. Now I know that the textbook was very involved and perhaps it was confusing. So I just want to bring up the textbook for a moment. So here's our textbook, and it talks about the fitness principles. And then it talks about, all the different basic things. But what's interesting is that you will see here that it starts with the components of health-related fitness, and then it talks about the components of skill-related fitness. And so you want to know those. The health-related components of fitness are those that I just described to you, and they're very important. So you do want to know them, but they're not the answer to our question. So if indeed you want to increase your health, then the exercises and what you need to do are cardiorespiratory endurance, muscular strength, muscular endurance, flexibility, and body composition. And yes, please be sure to know the definitions of each of these. I've made a video that shows this, so that's really important. Then we have the skill-related fitness components. They differ from the health-related fitness components in that they're really about performing better. And so maybe athletics, somebody who's doing any type of competition, this is where you would get into the skill-related fitness components. Not everybody needs to work on these, but I would argue that if you started to take a look at some of these things, and again, they're right here. So I always talk about, I do it this way where we do agility, balance, coordination, reaction time, power, and speed. And so agility means the ability to change directions quickly. You don't really need that in the day-to-day functioning. I would argue that balance is definitely necessary. We will find that the majority of senior citizens or older adults who have balance issues could fall down and get an injury that then they don't recover from. So that's important. Balance is probably, most of us exercise science folks believe that balance should go into the health-related components, but that's okay. Coordination. Coordination is your ability to move through a motion fluidly and with strength. So it's a mobility sort of issue, and coordination is vital to general motion and movement. I'm sure you've sat in a position for a long period of time and you get up and your body's really stiff and it doesn't move right. That hinders your ability to move and function. But coordination in a sports related sense has to do with eye-hand coordination, eye-foot coordination. And there are just some people that you'll watch that can pick up any sport or any type of activity, and they're just really good at it. They're what we would call highly coordinated. And it comes with practice. Coordination can, in fact, be improved. And then we have reaction time. Reaction time is another one of those things that if I throw a ball at your face, you put your hand up to catch it. If I start to fall down or I'm sliding, then I know what to do with my body. I can respond to a stimuli quickly and efficiently. That's what reaction time is. And then we start to talk about power. Power is a multiplier. So if you want to take the speed times the effort, that equals power. And so there's plenty of people that don't need to be powerful in a day-to-day fashion, but if you play a sport, you're probably going to need some power. The same goes for speed, right? Getting from point A to point B as quick as possible. And so those are some of the things. These skill-related fitness components may be something you're interested in working on, but they're not mandatory. The health-related fitness components we will work on in this class. I will share with you that if you don't have a solid foundation in your health-related fitness components, the skill-related fitness components do not improve. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. So then we start to talk about the principles of adaptation to stress. So when we talk about stress, I'm sure many of you are probably thinking the stress in the world of, wow, this is really hard to be locked down, to have my testing every 2 weeks for COVID. I'm struggling with this. There's a lot of stress. And what is also important to understand is that exercise, training the body to a new level requires that you put stress upon it. So when your body becomes more fit, it is becoming more fit because it's adapting to the stress that you've placed upon it through exercise and physical activity. So that's an important thing to keep in mind when we start to talk about it as an exercise. So some of you asked about that. So when I asked what are the components of a fitness program, they are simply the components of a fitness program. If you follow through here, they simply fall down into the actual 3 different things. And that is, first and foremost, mindfulness. You check in. They're on page 9. The second thing you do is do a warm up. Then you actually do the exercise and then you cool down. Those are the components of a fitness program. When we're talking about the literal, and again, I'm sorry for going up and down like this, but when you're talking about the principles of exercise prescription, the principles of exercise prescription are the FITTE principles, and then we've got some extras over here. So when you're looking at that, we have frequency, how often, intensity, how hard, time, how long, type, what kind. So we can even break that down, type a little bit further and say cardiorespiratory. Cardiorespiratory exercise is defined as large muscle groups moving in a rhythmic fashion for a specified period of time in your target heart rate zone. And so that's a lot of stuff. So that would include something like walking and cycling, but they're 2 separate different types of things. So when you say type, you may say cardiorespiratory, but my favorite cardiorespiratory is cycling. And so you would talk about that. That's an important thing to keep in mind. The E stands for, and again, you can always do extra research to figure something out, but the E stands for the enjoyment factor. We have a whole new science called exercise psychology. And in the world of exercise psychology, you would learn